Cardinals has it. And the runner with the bounce.
A good possession to start things off for Kentucky. They were able to get Louisville to go most of the shot clock, and they scored in the paint.
Taylor, Jefferson, Ricards, Harris, and Cochran, the starting five for head coach Jeff Walz today. Cardinals go to work inside, and a good look and a good finish by Nyla Harris.
6'2" sophomore out of Florida. Jeff Walz said he told us how much he wants to play an inside-out game, and Louisville will throw so many different looks at you defensively. Spring a trap on you just like this.
Kentucky finally breaks free, and off the mark is Tyler. Here comes Louisville. Cochran initiating that secondary break for a moment.
Okay, I like that you saw that. I'm like, look at Cochran running the break, handling the ball. And this game bound to have some pace, but it's got to have a lot of discipline as well. You see Scherr back in the lineup, as you mentioned, Roy. And Petty has been so big. Miles, the vocal leader for this Kentucky club.
And the runner, no good. The rebound, also off the mark, but a foul is called. And Kiki Jefferson going to head to the free throw line. The Sun Belt Player of the Year last year. The Sun Belt champion James Madison Dukes getting the job done down in Pensacola, Florida. And Brooke, we were on the call for that game. We got a chance to see her kind of in her element for JMU, and to think that she's now playing in the ACC, quite an addition in this league. And you know, the last 4 games we showed you the numbers, averaging over 17 per. She's kind of a throwback player, gritty player that does so much for Jeff Walz.
She looks so comfortable and transitioning from James Madison to the ACC here at Louisville. Seeing her take on that championship last year, and we got just a great sense of who she is. Yeah, I would
made
say
that
so.
graphic right there. I made the graphic.
I like it.
Roy's definition of play. Grit with the exclamation point. Well done.
You're right on, though. Grit, old school, and smarts. Kiki Jefferson has so many different weapons that she can bring to this club. And it enhances the team. This unselfish Cardinals basketball team that Jeff Walz loves to coach this year.
Cats work it inside out. Shot clock down to 6 again. Another late possession for UK. Here's Tyler. No, she'll get it back in a second chance. And the jump ball, the arrow favors Louisville.
Well, you know, the scouting report for Kentucky is they have got to get inside access. They want those points in the paint. They're going to keep coming at you. So for Louisville, terrific possession. I mean, I heard so many squeaking of the shoes out there. So a lot of fast feet for the Cardinals, staying in front, big hands, communication on that defensive possession.
We could track that stat moving forward, shoe squeaks, and maybe that indicates some kind of defensive tenacity.
If you could track shoe squeaks and players being vocal, that would change the game, because when you add being vocal to your defense, it adds another person.
And the more coaches we talk to this year, recent years, in the future, the vocal leadership is something that always seems to come into question, maybe more than it used to. And you don't want to say, you know, the new age is not for the better, but in some respects, when it comes to leadership, as the runner put up and in by Emma King, that's just something I think a lot of veteran coaches and teams need a little bit more of.
Yeah, it's not easy to speak up and speak out. I mean, the leadership position sounds great until things get uncomfortable, and you got to call players out. But Nina Ricards is a player who's not afraid to do that as well. She's gotten so much better, and as much as she didn't have a lot of minutes in the SEC, but she's putting them up here in Louisville.
Transfer from Florida, and the Cardinals back in front. And Louisville with another foul. That one is called on Cochran, her first. 6-4 in the early going. Kentucky went through a bit of a stretch at the end of November, a 5-game losing streak. We mentioned the injuries. How about a Euro step and a strong finish for Petty?
Yeah, pretty for Petty. Nice natural footwork inside, and that's a product of, you can see, being in the gym, getting those reps. That was so natural.
Very fluid indeed. Cochran Nia Tyler on the move. An open look. That's a three for Scherr. Not this time. Cochran takes on two. And a blocking foul call. Free throws coming for 44 at red.
Louisville in the fast break is so dangerous. And Cochran, as we've seen now twice early on in this game, so comfortable with catching the ball early or mid-court, taking it right to the hole. Well, she's somebody you can definitely see, big improvements as you see closing in on 1,000 points for her career. Experience and points aplenty across the Louisville roster today.
Cards back in front by one. Cochran, her first point. Showed you right out of the gate. Cardinals have won each of the last 6. That's what we call bragging rights. Kentucky trying to bounce back from early season injuries. A strange loss, an unusual loss to Austin Peay. Off the turnover. Here's Cochran. Wheeling and dealing.
She said, Coach, put me a point. What? And that's the payoff, right? When you have a player that unselfish, it just makes everybody else get excited and get into it to just give up your shot for the next better shot. Great team ball by the Cards.
That was a textbook offensive possession. Everybody gets a touch and a wide open layup. 9-6, and now here comes Louisville again.
And here, great job of reversing the basketball, which leads to an incredible increase in field goal percentage. We'll tell you more about that, but if it's not available on the fast break, the Cards are able to move the ball around. Look at that. Pass, 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 pass. Open three hit by one of the best three-point shooters in the country, Sydney Taylor.
UMass transfer, originally from Long Island, New York. And the Cards with their largest lead, quarter 3, and the response. That'll make it 12-9. And the bucket for Maddie Scherr, and that's a good sign for Big Blue.
Well, I'd say you describe Maddie Scherr as having that same grit and important points back in the lineup today for Kentucky, those 14 a game. Coach Elsie talked about her basketball IQ. Look, you see over there pointing, talking on defense, head on a swivel. She's directing the back line.
Cats show a zone for the first time. Outside jumper, no. It pops back out to Ricards. And now stolen by Scherr. 1-on-2, Maddie Scherr, Euro. Off glass and in.
Yeah, she's got one to answer. Wow. She saw Petty and said, okay, I'll give me one too. Great finish on the open floor.
Entertaining start. Scherr with 5 in her first start back in quite some time. Well, Coach Elsie's not going to use injuries as an excuse when you lose a couple of games unexpectedly, a 5-game skid, and an offensive foul gives it back to UK. But it's great seeing Maddie Scherr back in action, Brooke.
Yeah, how about that step through? Elsie talked to us about her basketball IQ. You see her out there directing the defense, talking. She just knows how to add to the team, even without shooting a basketball, touching a basketball. Her toughness is one of the big reasons that Kentucky is who they are. And for her to have battled so many concussions and headaches throughout her career, it's just certainly hope that is the last that she has to deal with it and ever miss any more game time for it.
Louisville back to that half-court trap. It really makes you play almost unscripted if you're Kentucky. And you've seen a couple of possessions in late in the shot clock with desperation heaves. In transition, no. The cleanup, short, and the rebound controlled by Petty.
Now, if Kentucky can limit Louisville to those types of shots where they're going in the fast break and Scherr slow to get up, grabbing her left thigh. If Kentucky can keep Louisville in that rhythm of those fast break, mid-range jump shots, secure the boards, right on the other end, they have been successful in the paint, and that was their strategy, was to get those paint points. Right now, they're 8-4 over Louisville. And again, go back to Louisville. When they share that basketball and they assist, they are 4 assists for 4 field goals made, and it's going to be a walk for Petty.
That was an attempt at the largest Euro I've seen this year.
So like a Euro across the Atlantic, maybe into New York, is what you're saying?
That's right.
Not just a Euro.
Easton Bololu has checked in for the first time. Something along those lines across the pond. And then now UK forcing the turnover. Jada Curry didn't like it, and Jeff Walz didn't either.
Matt just looked like quick hands there. And
Miles
those little deflections,
forced the turnover.
Those little deflections where they add up mentally. You want to keep at those if you're Kentucky. And do whatever you can to slow down the Cardinals' offense.
Miles thought about it. Top of the key. That's another three, no. And Nyla Harris has been active in the early going. Off the row miss. Approaching 2 to go in our first quarter. Entertaining start here. The KFC Yum Center. And an open look for three. That's Sydney Taylor.
That's something you don't want to do, is leave Taylor that open. She's so quick to pull up, and you have to have so much respect for her three, and you can't give her an inch.
Cards 2 of 3 from downtown. Under 2 to play. The lead back to 4. Petty goes to work on the block. Pump fake between 2 defenders. No. Good defense by the Cards. And tapped out of bounds by Rowe.
Another player who's been out with headaches after taking a hard charge against Tennessee Tech. You see she's wearing the mask right there. And again, able to stop the fast break with that just quick deflection, just knock it out of bounds. So forcing Louisville to start again in the half court.
Off the fake. Taylor again.
That was saucy. Little jab step right. Let me go left pull up. Nice rhythm three.
And Louisville now 3 of 4 from deep, and Sydney Taylor catching fire. She's got 9, a charge for UK, and it'll go back to Louisville.
Watch this three now for Sydney Taylor, who is perfect 3 for 3 from the floor. And you make that mistake of giving her the room again, you got to stay up on that screen. Little ball fake, sidestep. Just terrific execution.
Feels like she woke up this morning in the proverbial zone.
Right? We'll see now. We check.
If you're Jeff Walz, you don't mind a shot like that, right? You're 3 for 3. Go ahead and try another one. Let's see how hot you really are from downtown. Look. And here comes Kentucky with a chance for 3. And Maddie Scherr continues her outstanding work. She's got 7 points in the early going.
Right, she's, talking about starting with a punch. Kentucky's Scherr back in the lineup and is going straight for the rack. Harris with that foul, but yeah, you mentioned, should Taylor shoot that shot if you're Jeff Walz? I think if you don't shoot it, you're probably going to get taken out. That's how I feel. Right. Jeff Walz looking at that shot. He's like, no, you take it. It's
by Scherr. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's when the offense slows down here is where you want to see the ball reversal, not just the one pass and shot.
Inside, and Taylor off the mark. Scherr takes it 1-on-3. The last bucket by Scherr, I was going to say, stopped the 2.5-minute scoring drought for the Wildcats. Scherr again from deep, and another 3-pointer. And Kentucky right back in it. And don't look now, but Maddie Scherr in double figures already.
Boy, Wildcat fans are so grateful to have Scherr back in the lineup. What a difference she's making.
Cards got a hoist one. Taylor, no, and a 2-point lead for number 18 Louisville. 10 minutes in, an entertaining start. When we partner with the V Foundation to highlight the urgent need for cancer research. This is game-changing research that helps save lives. You can join the fight against cancer by visiting v.org/donate. And remember, 100% of your donation goes directly to cancer research. Good game brewing. Back inside the Yum Center. 10 minutes in. Brooke Weisbrod, Roy Philpott, number 18 Louisville leading Kentucky. ACC-SEC rivalry by just 2. And the start of our second quarter. Louisville's defense bothered Big Blue early, not as much at the end of that quarter. Maddie Scherr scored the last 10 points for Kentucky until that bucket by Tyler.
How about Kentucky coming right out of that lineup, getting into the paint to tie this game up? And it is just, it's match for match. These players taking so much pride in this game. And knowing what it represents for their hometown fans and people who, as Coach Elsie described it, have been following them their whole careers. Now seeing them in blue and in red.
Taylor from 15, no. Tapped out. And the Cats' Miles has it. That's Brooklyn Miles, but a turnover. Off the bounce is Love, up and in.
That's a tough shot. Eylia Love, 6'1" senior. Trying to get a good shot, ends up using her body and creating space for herself in the paint.
6 points per game this year for 24 in red. Love, Cards by 2. Big story so far, the play of Sydney Taylor with 3 shots made from downtown. And then Maddie Scherr on the other side. That's a 3, and the Cats grab the lead.
Now Tyler with 2 big buckets. Starting off Kentucky's offense here in the second quarter. Both teams shooting well from 3, knocking down a few. And a turnover. And Louisville is usually the one that force a lot of those. Their defense forcing 23 a game. If Kentucky can pick some of those up, get some buckets. And Jeff Walz wants to see that ball keep moving and the spacing.
Well, what we've seen from Kentucky so far doesn't look like a 4-6 team, a team that went through a 5-game losing streak at the end of November. Maddie Scherr back obviously makes a very big difference. Rowe gaining health and strength makes a big difference. And then Petty, we know what she can do.
Right, and you've got Scherr to Petty. What a great drive and dish. You know, you see how well those two are playing and working well together. And yeah, I'd say Kentucky, you know, is giving it all they have with the gas, especially having, you know, their key players back. It's a tough arena to play. And you and I have been to the Young Center many a times. That's what you get a good dose of when you come to the Young.
Off the miss by Curry. Cats unable to capitalize. There's another 3. Mariah Russell.
Boom. It's a great defense to offense possession for Louisville. Turnover leads to a fast break 3. Don't clip that one. That's a good one.
It was Marissa Russell with the shot. And Russell with her first points. Petty double team, wide open inside. Off the pump fake and a block. Well, for a moment, it looked like Brooklyn Miles was going to be wide open. And the Louisville defense collapsed.
Well, Easton Bulolu has come in, I believe, taking the charge. You get the swipe here to steal. That'll lead to a 3. Nice fast break rhythm 3 for Louisville. Cards love that.
Easton Bulolu has certainly provided a nice anchor inside at times this season for Jeff Walz. Was pushing the back there, and the foul will go against the Cats, and that was Emma King. Louisville defense so far forcing 5 steals and a block. Back on the attack here. Russell, no. And a foul called against Kentucky.
Easton Bulolu drawing another foul. That's 2 in about 10 seconds she's been able to get drawn on the Kentucky defense.
Tied at 23. Easton Bulolu, no. Cats on the move. And stepping out. How many times do you see that in college basketball? Emma King that time stepped out of bounds trying to find enough real estate in that corner.
Yeah, you got to check your feet. I mean, coaches so many times will tell you, especially if you're close to shooting a 3, check where those lines are. You had great rhythm and you interrupted just not being aware of where your feet are, but certainly Jeff Walz was. You saw him sprinting up the sideline, making sure the officials saw the same.
We do have an all-star crew here today. Dee Cantner, Brian Burnett, Talisa Green. Veteran officiating crew's done an outstanding job so far. Still tied at 23, and Rowe will back it out.
Boy, the Cards not leaving any room.
Shot clock down to 5. Rowe, no. Petty battling for the loose ball, and a foul was called.
Great defense there by Louisville. You know, extending it well past the three-point line on the catch in their face. Again, inducing a little more panic, right? And then I thought Scherr had a decent look at a shot, and she chose to give it up. Ended up a successful defensive possession for Louisville.
Yeah, that surprised me as well, given how efficient she's been for shot selection so far today. Cochran, the turnaround, she'll attack. And off the pump fake connects.
Well, she's been great in this game. Hasn't filled up the stat sheet a ton, but when she gets the ball, she's fluid with it. You can trust her. She's got great hands. And able to get Petty off the floor there with a good pump fake.
Cochran from Columbus, Georgia, now a senior. Carver High School. Oh, Petty weaving her way through traffic against Cochran, forces it up and in.
I mean, that's just one-on-one, cannot be stopped. So if you can get those situations, isolate Petty, let her try to go to work. I mean, you see how low she gets? Lateral movement is nice.
Cats back to the zone. Curry trying to spot Cochran in a turnover. Rowe comes away with it. And the mid-range is short. That was Russell off the mark. And Anaya comes up short, still tied at 25. Cochran again off the bounce, attacking. Gets it back. Not this time. Scherr in transition.
Let's see if Louisville slows things up here, Roy. And tries to hit again that second and third side. Or inside out. Good post up by Cochran. She was able to get deep and secure Tyler.
Well, it feels like the Cards offense operating most efficiently when 44 touches it.
Man, I mean, you just get a load of riches when you look at Louisville and all the players who've now come through the program, and a lot of WNBA players added to that. And with Robinson on the staff, I mean, you get that experience, you get that knowledge of the offense and the defense with Louisville, because again, you have to understand not only how to play defense to be hungry at it, but to learn, you know, mid-possession sometimes there's switches. So you want that experience, and with when you have graduate assistant who've been alum, you can get that player-to-player conversation in that respect. I mean, you look across the board at Louisville, they've got so much experience and balance. 8 players on this roster, Roy, have played 50 or more games. That's going to go a long way this year.
It'll go a long way come March, especially. Cochran now 2 of 4 at the line. We've had 6 guys in 3 lead changes. I mean, how many times have we seen in basketball and college basketball, men or women, the teams that have the experience, especially in the backcourt, those experienced guards that don't lose their cool when the game is on the line, the crowd starts yelling, and you can feel that adversity setting in. The teams that have the experience are the teams that survive and advance. Petty, a collision, no foul, and the bucket, she's got 8.
Oh, you heard the fans and Louisville want the call for the charge. And Petty able to get her position and get a little bump, but go straight up for more point paints. Again, in Kentucky's arsenal, that's what they want to do, go inside. 18 so far for the Wildcats.
And this zone's starting to give Louisville some problems. Shot clock down to 3. And speaking of, Kiki Jefferson travels. Hey, right, coming up next Sunday, catch the women's basketball showdown between Purdue and the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. That's up at noon Eastern. Notre Dame currently ranked 14th in the land, playing some good ball. Watch it here live. The ACC Network also on the app.
You know, you look at the crowd here, you watch the Iowa State-Iowa game, and you look forward to the Purdue-Notre Dame game. These in-state rivalries mean so much to the fans. And women's basketball is continuing to grow. As Petty tries to go up strong. Let's see if the Cards can get back into their fast break offense.
You know, Kiki Jefferson's been held in check so far, just 2 points. She's averaged 17 in her last 4. And off the fingertips, back to Kentucky. Are you surprised by what we've seen so far from UK?
Well, especially having players back. You know, Rowe and Scherr back in the lineup. As Louisville will get the call there. Having those players back in the lineup, I think, gives Kentucky so much more competition and depth, and that's what they needed, right? You're going to get plays, you know, where Petty's going to score in the paint. Great job by Jefferson to draw the foul there. But I'd say no, especially because Kentucky's got that pride and got key players back in the lineup today. Louisville on this drought, I think, as you mentioned, being really affected by the Kentucky defense. They just need to keep moving. There's a lot of standing and passing going on that I'm seeing from the Cards.
Unless Cochran gets in touch, he does there on the offensive glass. And an offensive foul again. So the Cardinals turn it over. And accepting the charge.
Good help side defense. Right there, Janae Walker. Great job by both clubs. You know, I love to see players giving up their bodies, ready to take that contact, getting the ball back for their team through a charge. It's such a great energy play.
Now Walker providing that off the bench here. Less than 90 seconds remain in our first half. Kentucky by 1, 27-26. Walker works it outside and Scherr trap. So turnover number 10 for the Cats.
And just a minute left here, so you know, the possession's extremely valuable going into halftime. Want to try to get those successful feelings and that momentum going into the locker room. But Roy, eventually you'd have to think that fatigue at some point is going to set in. As hard and as fast as this game's going. Great position and pass by Cochran, an inside look from Ricards. Woo!
Cochran has 6. Cardinals back in front. 6 ties and 5 lead changes. It'll stay on this end with 53.4 seconds to go. What seems like Cochran would have more than that. She's had many touches. She's missed 2 free throws, but also the 4 rebounds and 2 assists. Everything has been flowing through 44 in red.
Yeah, and I've seen her open and not yet gotten the basketball a couple of times. So if the Cards, I think if they look for her more, their field goal percentage is going to go up.
Scherr off the screen, and an open 3 for Russell, no. The pace is slowed down here in our last 5 minutes of the half. The runner off glass and a chance for 3. Nina Ricards getting the job done.
I believe they're going to wave this one off.
They are. It is an offensive foul.
You see Ricards shot. Kentucky gets there. He's able to get the charge, the ball back. Will they get a good shot here? And look at the timeout to call one up. Likely for Scherr.
Bang, bang play. Cards turn it over. Shot clock is off. 22 and change remaining. It's in 22 seconds. One more look at that last sequence. We originally thought it was a chance for 3. And the original indication by Talisa Green near side, veteran official, was score the bucket and a foul, and then apparently it got changed to an offensive call, so the Cats get it back.
And the legal guarding position, you know, when it comes to those block charge calls, officials are looking for 2 feet on the floor, their torso facing the opponent.
And inside, Brooklyn Miles comes up short.
Pass to the one side. You're talking about changing sides or going inside and out, because that's going to move the defense around. And if more players could really buy into that concept, I mean, the team buckets would go up, offense would keep going up. I mean, the women's game is just rising every single day, but that would really make a big difference if players were to really buy into that.
Sydney Taylor, no. The offensive glass, the putback, yes. Kiki Jefferson now with 4.
There she is. We were waiting for Kiki Jefferson to start busting out in this game. And you got a sense of just her energy and strength down there in the post.
Former Sun Belt Player of the Year, James Madison. Dukes won the Sun Belt Conference last year. Good look inside. Scherr up and in.
No English on that as well. Good cut by Scherr in Kentucky to find, you know, ways to stretch the Louisville defense. Not easy. Nice interior pass.
Nyla Harris down low, 32-29, a different pace to start our third quarter. Guard standing man-to-man, Petty inside, bump, no whistle, gets it back. And tapped out. And the Cardinals will get it. Petty, really 3 chances down low, was bothered on 2 of those opportunities.
And she's getting great position inside. We saw Scherr, you know, grab the ball in the wing, get under the defense, and was able to get that bounce pass right into Petty. But the length of Cochran is bothersome. As strong as Petty is, you know, Cochran's right there, ready to meet her.
Off the steal, Maddie Scherr. And in transition, 1-on-3, no. Back to the Cardinals. A little surprised we haven't seen Kentucky go back to that zone that appeared to be so disruptive at the end of the second quarter. Louisville closed down those final 3.5 minutes with 4 turnovers, and it felt like it kind of changed the rhythm of that game in the first half.
Oh, I believe you're looking at it right now, or at least some form of that zone. But yeah, there's an example of the quick shot, but Louisville able to get inside, at least for that look.
Scherr dumps it off to Petty. Outside, there's a 3. Emma King from downtown.
That's a great possession for Kentucky. That ball changed hands, it was inside, and Petty, you're not forcing it, instead finding a better look outside.
Tied at 32.
If they can get some drives, some screens off of that zone, Roy, that's where I think their offense could open up. Let's go back to that last Kentucky possession where it starts, Scherr attacks, finds Petty, and then off the double team, that's exactly right. And Ricard's gonna go in, of course, double team Petty, but you gotta honor and respect the 3-point shot as well. Perhaps just a shadow of a double team to get back out the next rotation for Ricard when she sees that.
Petty gets a breather after picking up her 3rd personal foul. Walker checks in. And an offensive foul. Now Sydney Taylor ran out of room in the paint.
Watch King, 34. That's awesome help side defense. And Sydney Taylor, she had that short jump shot.
Wild runner off the mark by Tyler. And up and in by the Cards. That was Jefferson. So 4 points so far in the third quarter for Kiki Jefferson. 6 now in the game. And Louisville on top by 2.
Grab that. You saw Kiki Jefferson take that ball coast to coast. But the answer from deep for the Cards to take the lead. And Kiki Jefferson's got to get involved in this game.
The 3-pointer by Scherr. And now a steal. Too strong. Cards will walk it up. Now she fell down, and a timeout was called. Jeff Walls trots out on the floor wanting an explanation, perhaps looking for a foul. Instead, it's UK by 1. 6:54 remaining in our third quarter. A 1-point lead for UK on the road against 18th-ranked Louisville. And a look at what's happening around the country. You know about Caitlin Clark. I want to talk about NC State, but Brooke, you take it.
Well, I think it's pretty simple. You know, they win a 9-game win streak for the Wolfpack. You know, we say less is more. Well, less more is less more, but more wins for the Wolfpack. They've been doing a great job this season. And Clark reached a milestone of 3,000 points in her junior year. It is just insanity. You'd love to see it. I love the 3-point shot that she hit in rhythm to go over 3,000 points. And Juju Watkins, we might be talking about her and the scoring record in a few years out west. There's big things happening in women's basketball.
No question. I think Caitlin Clark's in rhythm and steps into it in rhythm. Just about every jump shot she has, no matter where it is in the gym. Walker, and a blocking foul called on Jefferson, and she couldn't believe it.
We'll take a look at this one here. It'll certainly look like it could have been. Yeah, to me, I would say I think that looks more like a charge. Looked like she had 2 feet on the floor, torso facing the opponent. Those are kind of 2 key indicators for legal guarding position. See differently from the baseline perspective down there. But what we haven't seen a lot in this game, Roy, that you and I both noted, is lack of foul shots, which is always appreciated. Great defense, and I think a good game being officiated so far.
Well, I agree with your assessment. I thought that was a charge. Wildcats turn it over, trying to inbound it just seconds later. So perhaps all is well. Game starting to get a bit more physical. One more note on NC State. Packer ranked number 3 in the latest AP Top 25 at 9-0. Something to watch from an ACC perspective. And you mentioned the lack of free throws. That means on the next possession, we're going to see free throws.
My bad.
Because that's how this whole announcing game works.
Murphy's Law, I believe, something along those lines.
I think that's valid. No, Jefferson steps in on the free throw line, a deep breath. Trying to give her team the lead right back. Tied at 35. Don't forget, the annual ACC Huddle Bowl preview special is coming up Monday at 7 Eastern right here on ACC Network. And the ESPN app will break down all 11 bowl games. The ACC teams are playing in. Look at how the College Football Playoff Selection Committee's decision will impact Florida State and the upcoming Capital One Orange Bowl. A lot of folks still talking about everything that happened last week about this time. Cardinals back in front, 36-35. And ahead, Walker was wide open.
A good look ahead by the Wildcats to get the spacing against that Louisville press. You never know what's coming or when.
Three-pointer, no. Scherr leaps for the rebound. And a foul was called in the process. Jada Curry going to check back in. That last foul called on King. And the Cardinals back to work. Here's Curry. Off the pick and roll, high off the glass, no. And Rowe controls the rebound.
Boy, Cochran has just been all over the floor tonight. And that's a great bucket there from Walker. Well, Cochran, you see Louisville bringing her to the top of the key a lot of times to start that offense, and then she was the first one to sprint down there and stop that fast break. And
Kentucky now matching its largest lead at 3, 39-36. Walker's been active coming in for Petty, and that's something to watch. A couple of bang-bang plays inside that could have gone either way. And Curry stepped out of bounds, another turnover. So Kentucky not having to utilize much of the zone so far in the second half.
Basketball, pursue open shots, and come in here, not be afraid of whatever the circumstances are. And they weren't sure what their roster was going to look like coming into today. You know, this team fights. They were limited last year in the SEC tournament, got to the quarterfinals. Scherr was dealing with concussions and headaches then. And the game plan was keep passes short, get to the paint, don't force it, and play off 2 feet. They have done that. They've kept this game simple.
It's been the Maddie Scherr show. She's off the mark that time, nearly forced to steal from behind. And finally a foul will be called. That'll go against Tyler. So Zania Tyler picks up the personal. 14 foul called against the Cats. Talked about the environment, the atmosphere. Kentucky back in the zone. And a jumper from 15, silky smooth.
Great job to find a low pocket there. That was a tandem 2-3 zone, it looked like. So we've got the two top guards kind of stacked. And try to take away that middle, but Louisville able to find the pocket there. Get a good looking shot.
Russell with the mid-range. The lead back down to 1. And here's the steal. Nyla Harris coast to coast. Cardinals back in front.
Yeah, Harris, little cookie monster right there. Don't cross over in front of Harris. At 6'2", she's got terrific length. Can hunt for the basketball. Now she wants another one, you can tell.
Rowe for 3. Cochran clears. Contact and an offensive foul. That's called on Curry.
Boy, Emma King out here taking charges today. Just looking for opportunities to get in front of the offense.
And you saw Jeff Walz saying, go to the block.
Get to the block.
More half-court trapping pressure now by the Cardinals. This was disruptive in the first quarter earlier today. And it is again. But a timeout called by Coach Elsie. Well, a couple of chaotic possessions working against the press. Calm down, she said, as we step aside. 1-point lead for the Cardinals. Back in the Yum Center, Kyra Elsie, Jeff Walz. Hey, Brooke, those two are connected from a long ways back, right?
Yeah, they sure are. We're talking about the Kentucky Hustle. This was an AAU program that Jeff Walz coached, and Kyra Elsie, Jamie Walz, Jeff's sister, agreed to play for. Yukari Figs. I mean, you're talking about some all-stars on this roster. And guess what? He told us today that this team showed up, maybe practice once a week, showed up a day or two before the state tournament. They win that, then they go to nationals, the AAU. They get 1 or 2 practices in. They finish 3rd. I'm just talking about rolling the ball out and having some all-stars get to work. Imagine how talented that team was.
It's an incredible story. Love was off the mark, off the dish from Cochran. Scherr behind the back, weaving her way through traffic. Will set up Miles from deep. Harris triple team, the spin, and she will shoot 2. Check out this picture. I mean, this is vintage, classic imagery right now with Coach Elsie and Jeff Walz, is it not?
Oh, you love to see it. Look, these are such great memories when you think back to, those 90s AAU tournaments. It was all about trying to just be as goofy as you can because, as Jeff Walz said, the players were off getting better on their own, right? Hunting down open gyms and training themselves so that by the time they showed up, they were ready to win state championships and national championships in the AAU circuits. How much fun were those days?
It's from the 90s when you see the size of the shorts and the shirts there, right? I mean,
Agreed.
The shorts go down below the knee, and the shirts are so baggy, it's kind of hard to figure out, really what's happening, and that's just how we wore things back then. That's what we did, right?
Yeah, no self-respecting basketball player would be seen with shorts above their knees at that time. Come on.
Misses Cochran on the putback.
do it again. The Cards have been big on the board today as well. They've got 32. They've doubled up on the Wildcats.
Scherr comes up short from distance. Cardinals with momentum. 4-on-1. Inside to the easy bucket for Nyla Harris. And Louisville opens up a 5-point lead.
Tornado run over the last 2 minutes. They've hit 4 of their last 5 shots, Roy. You saw a red blur across your screen. It's energy plays. It's big-time stat stuffer plays, but it's the little things, too. So Cochran doing her part.
Olivia Cochran now over 1,000 points in her career. Off the offensive glass, the bunny, down it goes, and 44 has been a force so far today for the Cardinals.
I mean, how awesome is it? You get your 1,000th point off a putback and playing some tip horse as well. You get it on off the rim. Congratulations to Cochran. Boy, this team is loaded. 4,000 points between Jefferson, Cochran, and Curry. Today she's got 8. Feels like 18.
It really does. I think that's the best way to describe it. She's got the 8 points, the 8 rebounds, 2 assists. And she's just been a defensive force at times as well. Remember, Petty has 3 personal fouls. Cochran's played a role in that. And that 8-0 burst with the half-court trapping pressure. And going against script again, Kentucky turns it over.
This is what you see when you face Louisville, that pressure, the traps. And there was not even a trap made there. That was just an unforced turnover from the Wildcats. So that tells you just the anxiety that they give you out there on the floor. And the more powerful they get on defense, the better looking shots they get on offense.
Harris got twisted up inside. Too strong on the layup. Boy, you get the sense Cats need a bucket in the worst way here to try to stop this 8-0 run in almost 3 minutes since they scored. And Scherr will head to the free throw line.
This will be just the 2nd free throw of the game for Kentucky.
Now Scherr, an incredible free throw shooter. Go back and look at her numbers from a season ago, well over 90%. Now coming up next weekend, as in Saturday, December 16th, we've got a college basketball quadruple header. It starts at noon Eastern. Our featured matchups: Virginia Tech hosting the Catamounts of Vermont, then Northeastern at Virginia. So we head to the Commonwealth right here on ACC and also on the ESPN app. Scherr with 16. That's the 90 seconds remaining in our third quarter. Cochran with the skip pass. That's a 3.
That rhythm looking mighty fine for the Louisville Cardinals right now. Let's see if the Wildcats have enough energy to respond here. They got to deal with that pressure first. And the shorter that they make their offensive possessions, Louisville's like, yeah, we like that. Kentucky's got to get back to passing, Roy.
Tyler missed the 3, and it was a quick trigger. Cards in the midst of an 11-1 run to seize control. This ties their largest lead of the game. Cochran wants to increase that advantage. Kept that pivot foot down. Shot block at 3. And finally tracked down by Scherr, and she was fouled. And Marissa Russell came crashing in. She'll be whistled for the personal.
Well, I thought there was a good opportunity for Cochran. Looked to me like she was matched up with Miles, who listed at 5'5", and Cochran ended up spinning away from the basket. That's where you just want to go ahead and spin, body up, and use your height and strength and get to the rim.
Cochran gets a rest and some encouragement from Jeff Walls. And Maddie Scherr back to the line. She's 1 of 3 at the stripe today.
Probably because you've been talking about how good of a free throw shooter she is, would be my guess.
That's exactly correct. For the people that don't believe in the announcer jinx, I've got 10 years of evidence, just personally,
exactly.
that will hush all of you up.
We also noticed Scherr, sometimes players, when they're not feeling their hairstyle, they will change it mid-game. Skylar Diggins used to do that. Scherr has changed it. So you wonder if that's perhaps just something to do with their game, superstition, or backdoor cut, and one opportunity for Louisville. A lot of love inside the paint today for the Cards.
Great dime drops and a chance for 3. The lead at 8. That's the largest of this game. Now at 49-41, and Love can make it 9. First points of the afternoon, and they are 2 big ones here at the end of the third quarter.
A great way to break pressure, too. Right, Kentucky's defense trying to swarm up, get out there in the lanes, get the deflection. So you backdoor cut. You ended up getting a 9-point lead here.
Shot clock is off. Got to imagine Maddie Scherr is going to get a touch soon. Petty back on the floor with the 3 personals. Miles the crossover. King thought about it. Good bounce pass to Petty. She's got a chance for 3.
That's a great response for Kentucky. It's been a tough quarter for them. They put up 16 points in this quarter and shot just one of their last 7. But that was a good pass where, I mean, the shot clock or the game clock's running down. No panic there, right? You talked about experience, so the guards having that poise to get inside the paint and find Petty. It's a good job by Kentucky. They can cut into this lead.
Asia Petty with 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 fouls. Something to watch coming up in our fourth quarter. Give her 11, and the lead sliced down to 6. Shot clock off. Here comes one more heave at the hole. And it was close. Love, a chance for 3 at the end of the quarter. 24 in red connects, and the response by Petty on the other end.
Petty early, and as they should, because this young woman has really rededicated herself to the program, to the game. And Coach Elsie talked about how she was open to being coached over the summer, and at one point said, hey, look, I'm going to have to kick you out of here because you're just too good and you're not buying into the program. So she said after a few tough conversations, woman to woman, Petty really took that to heart and has improved her mind, her body. She had PRs and all of her strength and conditioning records this year. She watches film. You see it in the way she plays.
Here's Rowe with 5 to shoot. Tried to dish it to King. Out of bounds. And the initial call is it'll stay on this end. Let's see.
It didn't look to me like it had gotten deflected.
And they did change the call.
Yeah. It's the right call.
Cats now with 14 turnovers. Sitting back in the zone again. Trying to change momentum after that 11-1 run by Louisville at the end of the third quarter. Curry, no. Petty has the rebound stolen away by Love.
Well, Love's had 2 big plays here just in the last couple minutes. That and one. Let's see if she's got a third in her. Yes, she does.
The lead back to 9. Love has 8. And the Cardinals now with 6 3-pointers. Petty double teamed up and in. A strong finish.
That smooth left-hand finish by Petty. It's all the work that she's doing beforehand, boy, to get in that position. That's where the strength records and all that, that's where they make sense. Post players got to do all that work, their legs, their lower half, get position, and then call for the ball.
Well, big conversation had between Petty and Coach Elsie about changing the diet. You mentioned the routine.
Yep.
The film study, all the different things. Elbow J is there. That'll make the lead back to 9 at 55-46. So Petty's jumper quickly matched by Louisville. And Curry's provided a massive spark off the bench. She now has 5. And Louisville gets it right back.
Look at the difference in points off turnovers as well, something Louisville is so well known for. Again, they forced 23 a game. And themselves have turned the ball over a lot today, but the Cards have not really paid the price for it.
Russell. Petty was fouled over the back. And the Cats go back to work on offense, trailing by 9. I mean, Petty's starting to get more touches inside. What else do you need to see differently for UK on the offensive attack?
Well, I think just the ball moving more and their spacing. You know, just Petty getting the touch and letting her to go work one-on-one is not going to get it done. For Kentucky, want to go inside, but not force it if she shoots, and that's going to be, it looks like an offensive foul on Petty.
And that's her 4th. So decision time for Kyra Elzy. The bench your leading scorer here for at least a couple of minutes, buy some time and try to keep this deficit right where it is and maybe try to whittle a point or 2 away before you bring Petty back on the court.
Yeah, and Janae Walker is giving you some quality minutes, 2 for 2. She's got the size at least to be a bother. And she extends out and tries to guard the Cards up top as well. And that's Harris.
She's been physical.
Yes.
Harris. Louisville with its largest lead. Love all smiles, nearly forced another turnover.
Here's Harris. And that's where Louisville's getting that great position, where Kentucky would miss Petty, you know, for that help side to be a bother, try to block that shot. But Harris getting all the way into the basket.
The ball touched every inch of the rim off the hands of Tyler, didn't drop. Curry, no. Love, yes.
This quarter has belonged to Eylia Love.
The lead at 13. Love came in averaging just over 6 points per game. Walker continues to give good minutes off the bench. She has 6 in Petty's absence for the time being. And the lead back down to 11. I mentioned Eylia Love averaging 6 points per game. Has 10 points so far today.
More leadership though, right? A senior. Good dish inside. Oh, that one doesn't go for Walker. Kentucky needed that one. I don't think they have a possession, Roy, where they can really spare a bad shot, a missed layup. Cards are just getting more confident. You feel it as this game's going on.
Against the zone, you certainly do feel momentum clearly on Louisville's side. And Harris was fouled and bumped by Scherr on the way up. So Scherr now has 4 fouls. Petty has 4. And Asia Petty back on the court in a sense of disbelief for 22 and white. Hey, keep me on the court, coach.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, love that. No, I'm good. Let me try to make up for this. And you want your best players in right now, right? Because you got to have that push, your leaders. And so what that does mean if you're Louisville is you identify 13 and 22, and you try to go straight for those numbers, draw contact, and do what you can to get them out of the game.
One more coming for Harris. Cardinals at the stripe so far this year. Top 15 in the country in terms of attempts. Top 5 in terms of makes, and that percentage Robust 79. Love somehow saved it. And then finally corralled by Petty. Now, second chance points a big difference in this game as well. Cardinals have 11. Kentucky so far, Brooke, with 0.
Yeah, that surprises me. That definitely surprises me, especially when you have rebound as good as Petty and how she pursues. But Kentucky is just having a tough time. Look at how locked down the paint is. The Cards all in there.
Scherr to Petty, up and in. A strong move to lead back to 10.
All right, that's where the poise comes in. Didn't panic, and Maddie Scherr and Eylia Petty both playing again with 4 fouls.
Skip pass, Curry, driving up and under. And check that. That was Love again.
More love, just more love. Bring it on. That's what the world needs.
Indeed. She's got 12. She's doubled her season average today. Petty off the pick and roll, double team. Wide open 3. Cats gotta have it. Don't get it. Tyler couldn't connect. Fast break opportunity, 3-on-1. And a blocking foul is going to put Eylia Love at the line. She has taken this fourth quarter over. 12 points so far, a chance for 2 more when we come back. 4:04 remaining. And Love, what a performance. 10 of her 12 points coming in the second half. Every single rebound for Love, and she's got 5 coming in our final 20 minutes, bro.
It's the Love lockdown for the Louisville Cardinals. She's taken over this game. 12 points on 5 of 7 shooting. 3 offensive rebounds. 1 steal. Feels like 10. And some big-time energy that's getting everybody off the bench, getting these fans out of their seats, and giving them a reason to cheer.
Well, her season high of 16 coming against DePaul. Told you about the 10 points, the 10 of 12 now in the second half. Doubled her season average. Off the miss by Cochran. Here's an opportunity for the Wildcats. Well, 6 straight in this rivalry. Trailing by 12, still with time. And that's a 3 and a good start coming out of the timeout. 62-53, Maddie Scherr now with 20 points.
Well, you got a sense that the Wildcats weren't sure what to do on that possession, and that's where having Maddie Scherr back in the game. I mean, look, 20 points today speaks for itself, but 4 of 6 shooting and a clutch 3 at a time where the rest of the offense was like, hey, what are we going to do? Scherr said, give me the ball.
UK 6 of 18 from deep. Ricards thinking about it. Shot clock under 5. And Ricards blocked by Scherr, and the rebound corralled by Petty.
How about Scherr going for it with 4 fouls, Roy?
Was a clean rejection from our vantage point. Here's Rowe baseline. And the skip pass late to Russell. The spin and the turnover.
Well,
big sequence there, it felt like.
Yeah, Wildcats trying to find maybe a perfect shot instead of taking the first one available. And the Cardinals just stayed the course and stayed in position, end up getting the turnover. That's a big-time defense for the Cardinals, too.
Love defended by Miles. Instead, it's a deep 3. Cardinals get it back at a fresh 20.
Roy, the Cardinals had 15 offensive rebounds today. That's crazy.
Compared to just 2 for UK, nearly a steal. And let's see what the foul call is. DeCantner had a perfect position and an angle on that sequence.
That foul's going to be on the Cards, looks like. Quick hands. Well, it must have been called before Ricards got in front position of Miles, I guess. But as you mentioned, Cantor was right there to make the call.
Lead at 9, 2:07 to go. Cats need a basket here. Can they get one? Petty off the fingertips. Rowe comes up with it, 10 to shoot. Wide open for three. Big time bucket. 62 to 56. Two-possession game.
How about the Wildcats defense holding the Cardinals scoreless these last 2 minutes and 45 seconds? Almost 3 minutes now.
It's 13,000. The Yum Center starting to get a little restless. Mid-range is there. Liv Cochran. Sure. The answer.
What a great back-and-forth game this has been. I mean, these players are putting it all out on the line. Just giving everything they got. How about Scherr, the game she's had, coming back from a concussion protocol to drop 22.
Wildcats need a stop here. Shot clock down to 14. No problem. Sydney Taylor. Taylor with 11. Petty inside and a chance for three.
Wow. With Kentucky's ability to stay calm in this game has been the reason they're keeping it close. Let's go back, take another look at that foul. Petty get in position. That's a great pass. And then Ricard's coming in late, where Petty already was pretty much right at the rim there.
She's got 15 points. 66 to 60. 53 seconds left. At this point, if you're Kyra Elzy and Scherr gets a breather and clearly out of breath for a moment, do you start to play the foul game because you still have a foul to give before Louisville shoots free throws? You're less than a minute to go, potentially in a 5-point game. What's the strategy?
Yeah, I think if you're Kentucky, you put pressure. I mean, Louisville's such a good free throw shooting team. I don't know that I want to put them on the free throw line just yet. Maybe see Kyra Elzy saying, hey, we may need to foul right away. Looks like her strategy is, yes, to stop the clock. Because you don't think Louisville is going to, they're not going to take a quick shot. So this is probably the way that Kentucky's got to go, and really saves himself a lot of time. That was a quick foul.
Scherr and Petty on the floor together now. Two leading scorers for the Cats. Scherr has 22, Petty with 16. Next foul means free throws for Louisville. We just showed you the graphic with their outstanding free throw percentages this year. Attempts, makes, percentage, all ranking in the top 20 nationally. Oh, and a hard foul is going to put Kiki Jefferson at the line. She didn't like any part of that from Brooklyn Miles.
Yeah, Miles definitely is a player that plays with an edge. Coach Elzy, he talked to us about that. Kentucky needing a foul quickly. That certainly was, there was no question about that call.
So Jefferson goes to the line 88% at the stripe this season for 12 in red. 8 points today, 7 rebounds. And she takes her time. There is no quick trigger at the free throw stripe, and plenty of confidence as a result. Well, she looks like she's already made two.
I like that. You know, there's so much patience to her game, and someone, you know, to not be in a rush, to carry that calm confidence on the floor. It's a nice deep breath. Yep, taking her time. Cannot be rushed.
Harris and Love back on the court after 2 makes by Jefferson. The lead back to 7. Now, if you're Kentucky, do you need a 3?
Yes, I think you do. Unless you get a quick 2, you can break the press here. I do think you need a 3.
Miles picked up. She dragged that pivot foot. That's going to be a traveling violation and a costly mistake.
Yeah, that one hurts because you saw Scherr coming around the backside, so the idea, it looked like, was for Miles to drive and kick and find Scherr. A very costly, perhaps killing turnover for the Wildcats.
Ricards gets it inbounds to Jefferson, and again she's fouled, and She doesn't like all the contact here at the end of the game. And again, we talked about her grit and kind of a throwback player, and she's giving you those vibes today with how these last 2 fouls went down. She didn't appreciate any of it, and she's going to tell you she's going to make them both at the line again.
Louisville ranks in the top 20 right now, and we mentioned it, how much experience, Roy, that they have with 8 players, more than 50 games. And Kiki Jefferson has been such a good player at James Madison, so to see her make the adjustment into the ACC so smoothly and really lead this team, I mean, she's somebody who we could see on the award list at the end of the season. As you take a look at today, just 11 for 16, so not as typically efficient as they have been.
1 of 2 at the line and tapped out of bounds. Last touch by Kentucky. They'll take a look at that. But back to Jefferson, all flash or no flash, all substance is really the name of her game. And even Jeff Walls told you this morning, throwback player, and it's just somebody that you can depend on, you can lean on.
Yeah, to bounce
not only for production, but you see what she brings in terms of leadership and just that fire and intensity. You have to love that if you're a fan of the Cardinals.
Yeah, you really do, because you want great players to come into your program every year. And Jeff Walls told us, hey, we know we need to get about 5-6 new players. We want good kids, and he told us we hit a home run. From there, the way that the Cardinals are shaping their offense this year is like, I love the strategy Jeff Walls told us, which was to find out what each player is good at and try to get those in sync, run the offense that way. And as the pieces come together, you can see where Jefferson is just a huge asset. Initially, I'm going to say just gut off of Taylor.
Well, it was clear that King didn't touch it on that secondary grasping attempt.
Yeah.
And I'm with you on Sydney Taylor. My initial thought was in real time that she hit it last. And they are going to change the call. It will be Kentucky basketball. Dee Kantner rolling through that replay sequence quickly. And so Kentucky has it trailing by 8.
Yeah, looked like perhaps the left hand of Taylor was the last to hit it. Nobody touches it there.
Yeah, I'm impressed both of us came up with that independently.
Yeah, we
in an
disagree.
overturned call situation where we're, not calling the game on site. Not easy to do.
True.
Here's a steal by Love. Off to the races for 24 in red. Yes.
Well, what a game she's had. Teammates love it. 13,000 fans inside the Young Center love it. Many more at home taking a look at the Cards trying to go for their 7th straight win in the Battle of the Bluegrass State. You talk about other players who can bust out, Love, she's got length, skill on offense. She's reading, timing, and cuts so well. As you look back to what this game has been about, Scherr and Petty, and for Kentucky, they put up most of the offense here, but the balance for Louisville, this is what has made them a top 20 team. I mean, they're hard to prepare for.
Love 2 points off her season high of 16. She's got 14 today, the 5 rebounds. You know about the foul trouble with Scherr and Petty. The Cardinals have been able to spread the wealth with 5 players in double figures. Try to match and overtake Scherr and Petty's combined 38 points. Equates to a 10-point advantage, less than 27 seconds to go off the Kentucky timeout. Cats are out of timeouts. And Louisville trying to put the finishing touches on an impressive win in a game in which Jeff Wall's team really didn't play all that great to start. They have finished extremely strong.
Yeah, hitting their last 3 shots, and Kentucky's actually hit their last 4 shots as well, but a few costly turnovers late for Kentucky, and Louisville's defense shining bright. is giving them this 10-point lead and likely the win here this afternoon.
Taylor fouled by King. Free throws coming for the UMass transfer. Here that has already seen many interesting developments across college basketball. We talked for a moment about NC State being ranked number 3 in the land. How impressive that team has looked in terms of consistency. You think about what North Carolina brings. Duke is young but very athletic in the backcourt. These Louisville Cardinals are going to be ranked all season long. Florida State's had some big wins in non-conference play. The ACC promises to be as tough as ever when it comes to women's hoops. Step back for Scherr. Almost banked it in. Tracked down by King, but she stepped out of bounds. And just 3.6 seconds remaining. The battle for the Bluegrass will go to the Cardinals of Louisville. 73-61 the final. 7 in a row for Jeff Walz and his team.
Well, congratulations to the Cardinals. They got it done against a very feisty Kentucky team that came ready. And as Coach Elsie said, ready to get bowed up. But the series history has belonged to the Louisville Cardinals for 7 games in a row. Great to see Scherr, though, back in the lineup on a very balanced day for the Cardinals. So many across the board in double figures. Eylia Love, though, with maybe the biggest game of the day.
14 points, 5 rebounds.